Omid got pulled again, Meghan's old trick to offend the royal family with Endgame. Well, folks, I have a very exciting announcement to make. There is a penetrating investigation brought to us by none other than Scobie's himself. Oh, now stop laughing. I'm being serious right now. Scooby-Doo is bragging about his new book that's supposed to be released on the 21st of November of this year. He's saying that it's something that pulls back the curtain on the firm, exposing, quote, chaos, family dysfunction, distrust, and draconian practices. Wait a minute, I thought Meghan and Harry said that they weren't going to trash the royal family anymore. And they wonder why nobody likes them and nobody trusts them, my goodness. So old Scooby-Doo is going to be pulling back the curtains, you say. Now, I thought that he was pulling back Meghan's beef curtains, but then I remembered, oh, Marcus has already been there and done that, and Scooby-Doo was a poof. Well, the first question that pops up is this. Is Meghan and her idiot monkey up to their old tricks once again? Could it be the duplicitous duo supplying Scooby-Doo with all the juicy tidbits to publish on their behalf? Because, of course, otherwise, where would Scooby-Doo get any information about the royal family? After all, it is not like he's an accredited royal correspondent. He may wish that everyone would believe that, but we know the truth. And let's remember that Meghan even denied supplying him with any information for his biography on the two of them finding freedom, or as others have called it, funding freedom, only to have to admit later on in one of the many court cases that she in fact told a big whopper of a lie, and she was forced to own up to the fact that in fact she had sent him dozens of emails with details for the book through her press secretary, Jason Knopf. And then after I had considered the first question, another question popped into my head. Did Scooby-Doo decide all by himself to write this expose? I mean, if he did, then I guess that he was pretty certain of his sources, right? Or the more likely situation is that he's just functioning as Meghan's mouth organ yet again. He's channeling Meghan's truths. Now, on the surface, it does seem pretty shocking, but of course, talking up a forthcoming book is the name of the game. But what in the world is he getting at with all this? Now, with unique insight, deep access, and exclusive revelations, journalist Omid Scobie pulls back the curtain on an institution in turmoil, exposing the chaos, family dysfunction, distrust, and draconian practices threatening its very future. This is the monarchy's endgame. Do they have what it takes to save it? I mean, really? The monarchy's endgame? Pretty over-the-top exaggeration, huh? I mean, for somebody of Scooby-Doo's minor stature to be throwing around the place. In spite of the fact that they have completely trashed their own reputations on a variety of platforms, from Oprah all the way to Netflix to Spotify and of course Spare, it was thought, of course, that those two idiots didn't have much left to say, but naturally, nobody can turn out her ever-changing truth faster than Meghan Markle can. And where else could Scooby-Doo possibly get all this insider information from, which has to be completely made up, because Meghan and Harry simply do not have access to the royal household anymore? Or what is it? Have they been saving a bunch of stories that they're going to release at the most advantageous time for the two of them, after the late queen has passed away? After all, Meghan's stocks have dwindled to -47 in the UK, and nobody really likes them in the US either. I think Bill Simmons from Spotify is not alone in his opinion of them. So please, somebody help me understand, exactly how is a whole new batch of anti-royal sentiments going to help anybody? I mean, other than you-know-who, of course. Maybe Scooby-Doo will get to sell a few books, but that is not the real purpose of all this, is it? I think Harry and Meghan are simply not finished with the royal family, not even close. And now that the late queen has gone to her well-deserved rest with her beloved husband, are they having another go to try to cause as much pain and damage as they possibly can through their little proxy? I cannot imagine that this book would have shown up without the two of them being involved somehow. After all, who else could possibly provide this unique insight, the deep access, and exclusive revelations? But between Meghan's truth and Harry's mind that curates events as it sees fit, let's just hope that it's going to be a storm in a teacup, or maybe the pulling back of a Kleenex tissue on the royals instead of the whole curtain. Now, if the Oprah interview is anything to go by, it's going to be all kinds of messed up, filled with Meghan's truth, or to be more accurate, Meghan's lies, as Piers Morgan debunked so much of what she said. Either way, this nonsense should have come to an end a long time ago. It's cheap, and it's just royal muckraking, that's all that it is. It really is time for people to stop hurling this level of nonsense at the monarchy, just hoping that some of the crap is going to stick. I trust that the royal lawyers are going to be hardworking and diligent in carrying out their legal duties to the monarchy. And maybe they didn't want to take legal action against the author or authors of Spare, whoever they were, but anyway, let's just hope that they're not going to be as hesitant to go after Scooby-Doo. I mean, if even one sentence could be proven to be false, I hope that he's in for it. If the royals continue with their never complain, never explain mantra, then I guess they're just happy to look forward to seeing a lot more of this kind of garbage. And one last thing, I do not believe for 1 minute that the whole world is waiting to read or hear anything from Scooby-Doo, Harry, or Meghan for that matter. They are simply irrelevant. Their comments, etc., are recognized as made up based on Harry's resentment and Meghan's jealousy, and of course their desire to make a lot of money at the expense of the royal family. I got a better idea. They should really just call it end of the game. I mean, that little idiot writes as poorly as his boss does. The last effort was so ridiculous, I had to laugh. It should have spelled the end of his career. And I do wonder where in the world his little co-author is. Still missing, I guess? Honestly, I don't think Scooby-Doo or Meghan could write out a shopping list if they had to. Finding Freedom was just the stupidest thing ever. It was page after page filled with banalities, BS, and a lot of bad grammar. This is gonna be just as bad, if not worse. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot worse. Scooby-Doo just wants money, and he understands that fiction sells a lot better than nonfiction. I do not believe that his book is going to be at all newsworthy or interesting. I mean, seriously, who cannot make up lies? It's pretty easy, actually. Harry and Meghan are insane. They are such a danger to themselves and their invisible children, if they're real. It's actually been a few weeks since we've heard from them, and I hope and pray that it's finally over, but I don't think so. I suspect that Meghan is just playing her very last hand. She's saying, "Oh, Omid, let's write another book. I've got to get back at Catherine." Meghan could not sink any lower if she tried. But I'm also curious if maybe Meghan was in a big pout because Harry dared to tell her to shut her face and look forward. During the balcony appearances, isn't the press corps typically set up around the Queen Victoria Monument? It's pretty far away actually from the balcony, and just look at what Meghan managed to do. She managed to find a camera. She is good at that. She's pathetic. It's going to be interesting to see if any of the sensational claims came from Harry, who told the High Court that he didn't know him but did know of him. Could this be another perjury case, I wonder? Meghan is infuriated, and with the WME agency putting a muzzle on her until they can try and find her some work, she's got to let it all out before she completely blows up. So please, William and Catherine, get ready. It's coming. Every photo, every accomplishment of theirs she reads about sends her into revenge mode. And that's because she has always wanted their life, but she knows she cannot have it, and she's not going to take it sitting down. Now Meghan is looking like the idiot that she really is. She has been humiliated by her own peers, thank goodness. Inside, she realizes that people are laughing at her. It really is the story of her life, though, so it looks like Scooby-Doo is just ready and waiting with the pen in hand for her next command. It is not going to be pretty. And you, do you agree with me? If yes, please like and share this video with anybody else who would love it. If not, let us know what you think below in the comments section, and we can also talk about this couple. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.